Edward Scissorhands, the 1990 Tim Burton classic, remains one of Johnny Depp's most iconic roles, but few know that the actor was not the first choice to play the titular character. The film, which also starred Winona Ryder and Diane Wiest, is a beloved blend of gothic fairy tale and heartfelt drama, with Depp's performance as the gentle, misunderstood Edward cementing his status as a Hollywood star. However, the role was initially offered to several other prominent actors, revealing the fascinating behind-the-scenes story of how Depp landed the part. Among the actors considered for Edward was Gary Oldman, known for his roles in The Dark Knight and Darkest Hour. Oldman, now 67, revealed in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that director Tim Burton had approached him for the role. "It was a small list. My agent thought I had a really good chance of getting it," Oldman said. However, after reading the script, Oldman admitted he struggled to connect with the story. "I read this quirky, strange little script and I didn't get it. The Avon lady and the kid with the scissor hands. It just didn't register with me," he confessed. At the time, Burton was still establishing his unique directorial style, and Oldman's unfamiliarity with his vision led him to pass on the role. Other big names attached to the project included Jim Carrey, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, and John Cusack, all of whom were considered for the role of Edward. Each of these actors brought a different sensibility to their work, and it's intriguing to imagine how the film might have differed with one of them in the lead. Carrey's comedic energy, Cruise's intensity, Hanks's everyman charm, or Cusack's introspective depth could have shaped Edward in unique ways, but none were ultimately chosen. Johnny Depp, then 27 years old, was a relatively unknown actor when he was cast as Edward. His performance, marked by a delicate balance of innocence and melancholy, became a defining moment in his career. The role required him to convey deep emotion through minimal dialogue, relying heavily on facial expressions and body language. Depp's ability to embody Edward's otherworldly yet deeply human nature resonated with audiences, making the film a cultural touchstone. Edward Scissorhands tells the story of a young man with scissors for hands, created by an eccentric inventor who dies before completing him. Taken in by a suburban family, Edward struggles to fit into a world that fears his differences, falling in love with the family's daughter, Kim, played by Winona Ryder. The film's blend of humor, heart, and gothic aesthetics, paired with Burton's distinctive visual style, made it a standout in the early 1990s. Depp's casting was a pivotal moment for both him and Burton, marking the beginning of a long and fruitful collaboration that would include films like Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, and Sweeney Todd. Burton's decision to cast Depp, despite his lack of star power at the time, was a bold choice that paid off. Depp's performance captured the essence of Edward, a character who is both alien and deeply relatable, a symbol of the outsider in all of us. Oldman's decision to pass on the role reflects the unpredictable nature of casting in Hollywood. At the time, Burton's quirky sensibility was not yet widely recognized, and the script's unconventional narrative may have been a risk for established actors. Oldman later acknowledged the film's brilliance, admitting that his initial reaction was a misstep. "You have to remember at this point in time you're not looking at Tim Burton's whole body of work," he said, reflecting on the context of his decision. The other actors considered, Carrey, Cruise, Hanks, and Cusack, were all on the cusp of major stardom in 1990. Carrey would soon become a comedy icon with films like Ace Ventura, while Cruise was already a leading man in films like Top Gun. Hanks was transitioning from comedies to dramatic roles, and Cusack was carving out a niche as a sensitive, intellectual leading man. Each could have brought something unique to Edward, but Depp's vulnerability and ethereal quality made the role uniquely his own. The film's enduring legacy is a testament to the chemistry between Depp and Burton. Their shared sensibility, rooted in a love for the strange and the beautiful, created a character that continues to resonate with audiences. Edward Scissorhands explores themes of isolation, acceptance, and the fear of difference, themes that remain relevant today. Depp's performance, with its quiet intensity and emotional depth, is a cornerstone of the film's success. The casting process for Edward Scissorhands highlights the serendipity of filmmaking. While Oldman and others passed on the role, Depp's casting was a stroke of genius, launching him into stardom and cementing his partnership with Burton. The film's success also paved the way for Burton's distinctive brand of storytelling, blending gothic fantasy with human emotion. For fans, the idea of anyone else playing Edward is almost unthinkable. Depp's performance is so intertwined with the character that it's hard to imagine Carrey's comedic flair or Cruise's intensity in the role. Yet the story of the casting process offers a fascinating glimpse into the what-ifs of Hollywood history, reminding us that even the most iconic performances were not always a given.